I got to the point where I was just wanted to give everything away. What else do I have? I don't even want to have anything because I don't want anybody to take anything else from me.
You're testing my trust, aren't you? You know, because you can get your phone stolen in the street.
To whom much is given, much is required. But I added a word in there. I believe to whom much is given, much more is required.
He's the founder president of the Homeless Entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur and he was homeless himself. Now he's on a mission to empower others out of homelessness. To learn more about his story and his organization, listen to this episode of the Montrepreneur Podcast. Okay, Andrew, Amy, thanks a lot for being here and welcome to the Montrepreneur Podcast. I would love to start with a small introduction, but I think the best way to introduce yourself is by yourself. So, Amy, if you would like to start.
My name is Amy Brodnix. I am in Texas, and I met Andy about a year ago. I am an entrepreneur. I am also a 25-year banking and mortgage professional who has also helped serve the live entertainment community in both Southern California and Texas for most of my adult life. I'm happy to be here today, and I thank you for creating a platform that serves entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Amy. Andrew?
Well, my name is Andrew Funk. I'm American. I was homeless. I am an entrepreneur. And as a result, I have the wonderful opportunity to meet people like Amy who are going through a situation that's similar, not the same, but similar to a certain extent, and see what we can do to empower her and others through this opportunity. So it's really about building community, connecting with people made of potential, like Amy, which is why she's been invited to join and as a spokesperson of other people as well, going through a situation. And we do that through a helpline, connecting with people around the world. As she mentioned previously, that's how we first connected. And thanks to Google grants, Google ad grants, we're able to reach a much larger scope of the world. And then the Voices program telling her story. I remember Amy told her story, and then joining the health program. And a lot has changed since then, Amy. So she's smiling much more. I think she's around much better people, and soon she will be with her daughter again too. So I think a lot of things have happened, a lot of things are happening, and many things will happen. And we met in Multisan, just so you know, Amy, at an event at Barcelona Metropolitan Association, thanks to an American friend of mine named Victor. So it's only appropriate we have an American homeless entrepreneur on the podcast. So thank you for the opportunity, and just happy to share the stories with you.
Thanks a lot, Andrew. Andrew, I met you like 4 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
You give an amazing speech about the community you are running, the Homeless Entrepreneur, and I would love to hear a little bit more about its background, etc. How can you like explain what is it exactly and how does it start?
Well, I think the best way to explain is through concrete examples, which is why I think Amy will explain a little bit about her story. But what we do is we identify people that are experiencing homelessness who have potential but don't have the right network, resources, and tools to make it happen. And then we accompany them. We don't do anything for people. We give them the opportunity to shine and to be in front of the audience that they need to grow. And so I could explain many different things, but like I said previously, we have a helpline, a Voices program, and a help program. And that's how we really create a funnel to identify people like Amy who want to be active citizens in society, work, help themselves, but ultimately inspire many more people through their progress.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. Amy, I will come to you in a few, but I'd love to hear from you, Andrew.
Okay.
What exactly did inspire you to start that? Can you give me like a little bit like background? I mean, what's the motivation or the vision or the inspiration that you personally like experienced to start this whole community?
Well, basically, I experienced my homelessness myself, right? So we've raised 300,000 euros for a company to bridge entrepreneurs and investors. My business partner spent all the money on salaries. I saw, I think, 1,300 out of that because I wanted to make sure my employees got paid first. As a
Mm.
result, at the same time, my first son was born, and so we went from like heaven to hell, and then trying to go through purgatory and get back up. And it was really challenging, right? Because when you lose everything, we say in the street, or at least something I always said, is the last two things you lose when you're homeless are hope and your cell phone,
Yeah,
right? And you end up losing your cell phone various times, right? And I think hope too. So from there, after I was able to turn my life around, and that was mainly because of the opportunity I had meeting my wife before she was my wife, and she opened up the door to me, and that helped me help myself and help others. So it's kind of hard to speak about everything that's happened, but I
sure.
would say that we have an international community. I mean, where are you from, Motassem? Where are you born?
Originally, I'm from Palestine.
You're from Palestine. Amy's from the States. I'm from the States. She's living in the States. I'm living in Spain. You live in Spain. It's an international community. And it's really about finding people like my daughter who's jumping up and down behind you. She loves
So
to be
cute.
on television and everything. She's on fire. So it's really about bringing people that are positive together, smiling, laughing, understand that there's pain, obviously, that people are going through. I was just coming back from a meeting with two people from Czech Republic,
Mhm.
a German guy from Berlin, and my daughter is still hanging out behind me, and one of the homeless entrepreneurs named Neon Sandwich, who's an artist who you met previously. We were talking about how the printing shop could help him print his artwork,
Mm.
right? So it's always about trying to bring people together that don't necessarily see the connection. And 1 second. Okay. As you can see, there are a few distractions as our day proceeds. But that's part of life that we have to go through. And those things that can be minor distractions, if you will, are also what makes you happy, like my wife and my daughter. Yeah, juggling that is quite challenging, right?
Mhm.
And especially when you're alone. As you can
Sure.
tell right now, I'm not alone. And But there was a time when that wasn't the case.
Mm.
I didn't have a daughter dancing behind me or a wife asking me something she needs, and a television in the background because I didn't have a television. I wasn't married and I didn't have a child next to me. So um, I think everyone goes through a homeless moment in their life at one time or next, maybe with a roof, maybe without a roof.
Cool.
But getting those stories out there is what inspires other people, like Amy, to believe it's possible for her to do what she does, and the next person that goes through the program to believe that it's possible there too.
Cool. Thanks a lot for sharing. I would love to hear a little bit more about the program. But Amy, you have left the stage. You can say some words about your experience, like your personal one and the experience with the homeless entrepreneur.
Well, the mortgage industry that I've been trapped in for 2 decades of my life um, never provided me the stability that I thought it would. I was for years helping people obtain home ownership, and I've gone through 3 mortgage crises. And last year, about a year ago, I decided, my God, if I go through another mortgage crisis as the mortgage mermaid, I think I'm going to lose my mortgage mermaid tail. I was so tired of the ups and downs, the inconsistencies in my life. Yes, there are times the mortgage industry was great, and then there are times it was absolutely horrible. And being shorted my pay um, and losing everything really, uh, it just like I don't know how to describe it. It either broke me or it fixed me when I realized that working for anybody else was not going to work for me. It wasn't. I know that in my heart and in my soul, I'm capable of creating something better than I've ever been a part of. And I have a little saying, I hope it doesn't offend anybody, but I had to go dumb, stupid, crazy, psycho with my life last year for a whole year. And people thought I lost my mind. But I've had 3 phone calls this week about $1 billion each. So I think I'm okay. I think I'm on the right track. And it's because of Andy. When I was crying on the floor of an extended stay hotel bathroom, that I didn't give up.
And
Good.
because of you too. One thing I just want to throw out there too is there are different ways of doing it, but the only way to find yourself many times is getting lost. You know, when you're traveling, but unfortunately, some people like Amy and myself have gotten lost to the point where you know you're homeless, right? But you have two opportunities. It's like King Lear. You cry and then you get over it, or you cry from keeping from going crazy. So I think what she said is something I think a lot of people can recognize because we are frail, and then embracing that aspect of who we are um, can help us become greater and help others.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
And
Yeah.
I tried to live with other people. I tried to lean on everyone around me while I was losing everything. And it just seemed that everywhere I was going, I felt like people were taking more of me. People were taking everything I had. They were using me. Like Andy was saying, you go through a period of time in homelessness where you just start losing everything. I lost everything. I got to the point where I was just wanted to give everything away. What else do I have? I don't even want to have anything because I don't want anybody to take anything else from me. And I mean, there was nothing else anybody could take from me. I mean, literally down to the point where people took my favorite pillow. Somebody took my favorite pillow that reminded me of a cat. I had a cat that died a long time ago, and she was really soft and fluffy. And that pillow, I used to hold her at night, and that pillow felt like my cat. And I always reminded me of her. And I had put a silk pillowcase over it, and it always took me back to a comfort zone when I would go to sleep and I would hold on to that pillow. And I went living with friends, and I tried dating a guy, and a guy hid my pillow, took my pillow. I mean, and I just I realized I have to be by myself. I have to get away from everybody. I needed isolation to heal, so that I could figure out which direction I was going to go in. And I'm glad that I did that because um, I have a whole new group of friends and a whole new group of people that I call my family now. And I'm very happy to know that I was able to survive everything I lost.
Good. Thanks a lot for sharing, Amy. From this point on, what's your vision? What's the next step for you?
Well, I'm building a theme park. I never in my life thought I would freaking be building a theme park. But as a little girl, I was always fascinated by Disney. And I love entertainment. I love real estate. I love economic development. And since I was a child, I don't even know why I wanted to become an economist. And I used to say that to myself when I was young, and I don't even think I really knew what it meant, but I think my purpose was in me before I knew what my purpose was. And so I took all of the life experience that I have working in banking and mortgages and being a mom. I have 2 children. I was a Navy wife when I was young. I've worked at every job you could possibly have in your career. Like, I've done everything. And I've worked in the nightlife scene and in the local live music scene. And now I know why. I'm building a theme park. It incorporates all of those things, and it helps sustain all of the industries that I love. And somehow life made me an economist. And in this plan, we're also incorporating up to 2,500 doors, meaning homes. Half of those we're going to be selling for profit, half we're going to retain for rental properties as a part of our revenue stream. And my team is currently negotiating several different deals right now. I have about 15 people working for me that I have not paid. They must be out of their mind, because for 15 people to believe in me and I haven't paid them yet, I'm living a dream. Everything about my life feels different. I feel like I have seen the success that's coming. My skin feels different. Um, I I just set my mind on the fact that after working for private lenders and banks for 25 years, asking anybody else to bend the rules or change their guidelines or create new programs so that people can qualify for the programs they don't qualify for, that wasn't going to do it. Nobody was going to do that. So I had to become the change that I wanted to see in the world. And I found a bunch of people that want to do the same thing. And together, we're building a new theme park chain called Haunted History Parks Global, which is going to tell the historically accurate stories of the past of each area that these parks are in, so that hopefully we can invoke healing and unity and change the world, um, by education, and remind people that through love and laughter, um, we all can be healed.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Where is the first place that you're going to be settled in this themed park?
Williamson County, Texas, right outside of Taylor, where I grew up. It's a little bitty town that only had a population of about 17,500. And then Samsung Semiconductor moved to town. And then Elon Musk moved to town. And there's about, I don't know, 10 more companies that are moving to this area. And they took all the mistakes that they made in Silicon Valley and they did everything they can to learn and correct those mistakes. And they're calling this area the new sustainable Silicon Valley. So I was a little bit ahead of my time when I started this plan, and everybody thought I was crazy. But now people are starting to realize, oh wow, she really knows what she's doing. And my park is something that is accommodating the rapid growth in the area. It's accommodating the service industry. It's bringing more hospitality to the area. We're building a 2 million square foot convention center and a 1,000-room hotel and a park that is AR, VR based. And I'm going to be educating people, and we're going to be having research projects that are a huge major part of this whole thing. My dream is to become better than Disney research and research what it takes to scale manufacturing to efficiency and bring more manufacturing jobs back to America. And I want to manufacture all of our own products at the park. And we're going to create a manufacturing training facility and research facility that's going to look as wonderful as Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and or like Krispy Kreme donuts when you go in and you can see the process of the donuts being made. And my goal is to bring legendary clothing lines back to life, like Beyonce's House of Darion, and maybe make some of those old, really cool clothing lines that we loved back in the day popular again, like Carl Kanai, Cross Colors, Jabots, and some of those things that were really a main factor of my young hip hop years in the 90s.
Cool. When are we going to expect the first opening?
I plan to break ground by January, end of January. The park should take about 2.5 to 3 years to build. And we're moving fast. We are going to do some pop-up location events. Revenue. One of my biggest revenue streams are our events. So we're going to do 6 mega concerts a year and 24 smaller events a year. And I think I'm going to end up buying one of those huge tin buildings and put, rows of different kinds of seating in there and create a temporary facility where I can hold concerts and get our revenue stream of events started. So I plan to do our first major event this New Year's Eve. And I'm hoping to fly Andy out here because I was so surprised to find out Andy's about as hoodie hood as I am.
Yep. Yep.
He loves
Okay.
some of the music I loved from Texas, and I was blown away. I'm like, how do you know about Tila and Twista and the Ghetto Boys and what? And come to find out, even though we're geeks, we still have a little bit of a hoodie hood side.
Good, interesting. Do you have like any website where people can check that, or maybe like sign for let's say the progress, etc.?
Yes. I do have my website is amybrodnex.com. And you can look under the Haunted Texas Theme Park tab on that, and you will see that. My website is hauntedtexasthemepark.com for the park. And I have a social media, Haunted Texas Theme Park. And on X, it's The Haunted Texas. And also on Twitter, I'm Amy B. Trippin, yo. It's AMYBTRIPPINYO.
Okay, thanks a lot, Amy. Great
Thank you.
story. I didn't expect that coming. Andrew, I would love to ask you about the homeless entrepreneur that you created. Can you please explain how does it really work? What were the biggest challenges you faced, like building that? How do you finance that? Maybe some like great insights from your experience.
Which question would you like to start with?
You can start by how it works.
Okay, how it works. So as I mentioned, it really starts with building the trust of the community of people that are experiencing homelessness. Like, you're literally entering the life of individuals at the worst possible moment that they probably can remember in their recent past, right? So, like yesterday, I got a call from a woman from the Dominican Republic with a 16-year-old son and a 3-month-old that had just been kicked out by her husband. And so she called crying, saying that she was looking for support, that she got our helpline number. And as you can imagine, that's quite intense. So imagine on one side, I have my daughter who just turned 5 with all her positive energy and love, like showing me how much she loves me. And then on the other side, listening to a woman breaking down, trying to find a solution, looking for a job as waitress, and like does not know where to go or what to do. That's very intense, right? And so I even had to hear like the guy who kicked her out yelling at her over the phone while she was trying to speak with me. Like, I think Amy can imagine how intense that was. So we have to transmit to complete strangers that we care about them as human beings, and we have the possibility of opening up something that could help them lead to a better life. That is not easy. That is not easy because people are
How
at a
do
very
you do
vulnerable
that?
moment.
Sorry?
Empathy is a good start, trying to empathize, not judging. I'm not asking that woman, okay, but why did he kick you out? What did you do? Like you can't be judgmental. You literally just have to listen to people that are opening up, trying to find a solution. And also you have to understand that you can't help everyone.
Sure.
Right? So that is the biggest point is we have beneficiaries that are receiving support, and then we have a support network that's providing support. But you have to understand that there's a real relationship for it to work in which the people receiving support also have to give some kind of value to the others and vice versa. So how do you convince a business person that they need to help Amy when she's at her worst moment, and then get them to understand that at one moment Amy will be able to help them back, right? So there's this lack of trust on so many different levels within our community, or at least around it. And what we do is we create a sense of trust and understanding. Like I was with Neon and I was having a kebab and he was having some French fries and a Coke. And I left my phone on the table and I went to go get another plate because my stuff was like, you're testing my trust, aren't you? You know, because you can get your phone stolen in the street, right? And I just left it there. And I was like, I don't work with people I don't trust. And if you steal my phone, I have insurance. I'll get a new one, but you have so much more to lose. So like um, we don't judge people. We understand that they're in a certain situation, and we also understand that we can't enter someone's life and change it for them with a magic wand. The relationship we have with people is based on love, respect, and an interest to go forward. From there, the relationship we have with people changes depending on the person, right?
Okay, but
Like, huh?
that would be no. That is an interesting point because my question would be at that point, what are the requirements? Because I mean, your vision is like to have like to help people to go from situation X and to build like something out of that, right?
Improve their life. I mean, when we talk about homeless entrepreneur, some people like Amy will do their own business. So they're the entrepreneur sense
Sure.
of creating a business. Others, the entrepreneurial spirit to start their life up again.
But
That's
is
an
there like
introvert.
any requirements like to enter the community? Is there like
The
any?
biggest, the biggest requirement is willing and able. Like we can't force. I mean, I literally have no way of knocking on Amy's door right now and going, "Hey, you have to do this," or "I'm going to take something." Like I'm not. We're not the government in the sense that we can't take anything away. We can just say, "Hey, you're going to lose some opportunities," right? So. What I was talking about is how the community functions, right? So at the beginning, people contact their phone. And that could just be seen as a number or it could be seen as a line to really create a relationship. So the more we communicate with people through the helpline, the stronger the relationship is. I'm good, thank you. But then the next step is the Voices program. Why is that so important? Because we don't pretend to put our logo over anybody's face and watch us grow. We want people to hear Amy's voice. We want them to see her face. We want to see her struggles and her triumphs and connect with her because that creates the independence that she needs to be able to do her own thing.
Sure.
Now, that's why the Voices program is so important because people are telling their story in their own words that helps them connect with our community, which then becomes their community. Afterwards, we have the help programs. From there, we have coaches from professional development, health, training. Thank you. Okay, I'll have my shot of water. So, finance, legal, communication, sales, mentor, and support with housing. But it's organic. And I always tell people it starts slow, like
Mhm.
because we're just getting to know each other. And so as they tell their story, they connect with more people. And as they connect with more people, they do their own thing. And then the interesting part is when they contact us with opportunities for the organization at the same time, and we
Yeah.
share that success. So when it comes to the network support, it takes about 30 people to help a homeless entrepreneur get back on their feet. And that's
Mhm.
either with us or through them. If Amy has a child, she knows how many people it takes to raise someone. But the thing is, the help program is a 3 to 12 month program in stage one that helps people become more independent in a better housing situation and with better economic situation as well.
Okay.
Stage two is when they're able to pay their own rent. They're happy with what they're doing and they're working towards becoming successful in their mind. Right? Like I've never, or no one's ever told Amy how she has to define success. And if she said anything that's crazy, they're like, well, how do we make that crazy happen? Right? So what are the steps to get there? So it's not like it's not possible. The question is, how can we make that viable?
Mhm.
Right? And I think the help program in our community challenges people to understand how to make their dreams real, right? And in that process, I was speaking with Nee, and I'm using him as an example because I was with him right before the call. But I was like, I don't know many artists that have stable income. So if you have an art gallery, maybe you have a little bit more stable income. Otherwise, you need to teach English, you need to do something else to have some kind of stable income if that's your plan. Or maybe it's not for him. But he has to be conscious that whatever he does, he has to own.
Yeah,
Just like
sure.
Amy, she owned focusing on haunted house. So she understood the consequences and the benefits of that. So we just try to give people an understanding of, hey, you have our support. Go as far as you want to, the way you want to. We'll give you feedback. A good advisor doesn't drive the car for you.
Sure.
An advisor helps you learn how to drive that car and lets you make your own mistakes and you learn. And it goes on both sides. So I think with the help program, we help people become active working citizens by giving them the network, resources, and tools to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Good, nice. And you mentioned like about 30 people. It takes about 30 people like to get one homeless person from the street into like having an independent business, right?
I would say 30 people is a good number for anything. Children,
Okay.
a business, like think about your podcast. Like for you to be in a good space for your podcast to function, there's a lot of things that had, like the guy who's making your coffee for you that you go every single day, he counts. He helps make you smile. He gives you something you need. The woman that cleans your stairwell at the apartment, there's so many different factors, but normally we don't really consider those people.
Okay.
And so you just do your thing and you're like, I've done everything by myself.
Yeah.
Not true.
Yeah. Not true, no.
But you are the motor, right?
Yeah.
So you are the motor and the vision, but you do need everything else to take that yacht or that haunted house or that organization and to grow. And I think the beauty is when it sounds like music, right? And the music that you want.
Mm-hmm. Good. And in terms of numbers, I mean, how much would it cost like to take this whole process from day one till like the whole independence?
Obviously, it's cheaper to help a homeless entrepreneur get out of the street than it is to start up a billion-dollar business. But it costs. It started costing 10,000 euros to help one person.
Yeah.
And then I met a friend of mine in Geneva for the AI for Good Global Summit in Switzerland, and his name's Matteo, and he's like, you got to bring it down. Unit costs, investors' unit costs. We were able to bring it down to 3,000, which is what it's currently at. We can even bring it down to 1,500 if you have a cohort of 30 people. But basically, it's like 250 euros a month for 1 year.
Okay.
And if you think about it, I think it's quite reasonable because it's almost like a masters of the street to a certain extent, right? Like you're getting all the support that would, I don't even, if you had to pay for all the support you received and help program, it'd be extremely expensive.
Yeah, sure.
If you think about it. So we lower those costs through partnerships.
Yeah, I understand. And how big are you? I mean, how big is the community of the organization and community of homeless people you are helping right now?
So just to give you like some numbers so you can have an idea, we had 100 interns last year, more than 250 volunteers, about 38 partners, and we work around the world. From that, the main beneficiaries come from Europe and the United States. We do work with some people in Africa and South America and Central America. The funding comes more from corporate, so companies, because they create the wealth, and also individuals that want to support. But the important thing is connecting with the corporate world, because those are the companies that will be supporting, working with, and investing in homeless entrepreneurs like Amy that are looking for funds. So, we had a conversation today about, how do you get IBM involved? And one of the things I mentioned was, okay, well, we need to take a first step with them, which is they have a program called IBM Skills Build, which is a program that they have that will be helping 30 million people by 2030. And so showing how Amy uses IBM Skills Build to make her business successful is a good
right?
A business that adds value in the business world.
Sorry, I mean, you're back again.
No, you lost me. Okay, I said the most important thing. The entire on the
So
podcast.
yeah.
Just a joke. No, but I was just saying that we try to learn how to align our work with the core business of companies.
Yeah,
And
I see.
then that opens up doors for the people in our program, be it a business owner like Amy, be it, an employee that will be an entrepreneur in the organization or a freelancer. But it's really about understanding how the business world works and
Mhm.
how that community gives people the chance to be healthier and happier. Because if you're not healthy, you can't do anything. And
Sure.
a lot of that is mental health, where people need to feel appreciated. They need to feel like they're adding value and that it's perceived. And that's, I think, many times, when you feel like a red number in a bank, like you can't even, you just, it's negative and just this negative stuff around you that is frustrating. And you believe that you have value, but you're not seeing that reflected
Sure.
in those around you, which is, I think, is a huge change for people when they see I'm doing something that's adding value to my client and to the community, and that gives a different type of value to the person that's in that process.
100%. This is a good point. What are your future plans by the whole organization?
Well, my ultimate goal, I dream big as well, like Amy, so I can understand her crazy dreams. Ultimately, we plan on being the go-to empowerment-based model of ending homelessness, empowering people made of potential, experiencing homelessness. So we want to be the go-to model for governments and for corporations and for society. That's our ultimate goal. Bringing it down a few notches, we're preparing for our next great walk, which is a 150-kilometer walk in 5 days. This was to Paris for the Olympics. The next one will be to the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. So that's quite relevant. And then we will be doing our sleep out. We started in 2018 and did it every year except for when COVID came. So those are big events. And right now we're looking to connect with multinational companies and companies that are economically stable and growing to help create more stability for our community too.
Cool. And where can people find about a little bit more about the organization?
Well, obviously they can go to our webpage, homelessentrepreneur.org. They can contact us in social media. LinkedIn is probably the best place, but you can also find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm not in any other places because we don't have, we try to focus on a few there. But the easiest thing too is to send me an email at funk at homelessentrepreneur.org or give me a phone call through our webpage. But look for us, you'll find us, and we respond very quickly. Like Amy knows, we responded very quickly, and that urgency to connect with our beneficiaries and our network support is what gives people the opportunity to grow and to help society become a better place to live in.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Andre.
Thank you.
Amy, the same question for you. I mean, I already asked like the future plans. You told me a little bit about that, but would you like to add anything for that?
My future plans are to, of course, I have to put me first and my vision first. But when I do that and when I get where I'm going with my vision, I'm going to be able to well, I guess let me just spill the beans. I want to become the hub for homeless entrepreneur in America. I want to create a homeless facility that's a transitional living center. I want to restore a historic hotel. It's $4 million for the hotel, $1 million for the restoration. And I'm going to turn that into something that's like a WeWork. And I'm going to house anybody that needs help and anybody that's willing to adhere to the rules of the program, because it's a lot harder than people think. And I have a lot of learning to do. I'm not the government. I don't want to shame people for not being able to meet certain guidelines. So I look forward to learning and meeting more people along the way that are going to help me learn how to help various kinds of individuals. And I did want to mention the skills build program with IBM and how it's helping me as a homeless entrepreneur through Andy's program. I'm making everybody on my team take courses. I require that everybody on my team sign up, and I'm currently taking the certification for sustainability. And I'm thinking I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'm really interested in learning how to become a prompt engineer, and that may be something I want to do. There's so many different skills and certificates you can get. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to get free training for not only me, but for my company. It's saving me money as a homeless entrepreneur, and I'm making it a requirement for everybody at my company. So I really do appreciate that from IBM.
Cool, thanks for sharing. Sorry, Andrew, did you want to say something?
No, for me, it makes me happy to see people that are grateful for the opportunities that they have and make the most. So I would like to highlight how well Amy listens and observes, and then tries to figure out how to make the most to build her dream. So homeless, I think she's a very good example of a homeless entrepreneur that focuses, and the more people really listen and figure out how they can align with and have others align with them to work together is where the magic takes place. So I just want to emphasize the importance of appreciating all the support that one is given. Sometimes it's not exactly what we want, but many times it's exactly what we need at that specific moment. So if we learn how to embrace that and go forward, we go much, much further. So I just want to thank Amy for everything she's doing, and also for her confidence and trust. And we're just completely supportive of her and her program, and will be with her as far as she would like us to go.
Thanks a lot. The last thing I would love to ask for both of you, learnings. What are like the top 3 learnings you had from all your entrepreneurial journey until now?
Well, for me, one thing that's been at the top of my mind for the last few weeks is an old saying that to whom much is given, much is required. But I added a word in there. I believe to whom much is given, much more is required, because it's so much harder than people think. And I don't know how anybody's going to ever obtain the life they want if they're not working hard for it every day. I am sometimes so excited for my life right now. I am up before the sun. I'm like, is the sun up yet? Is the sun up? Is it time to get up yet? Because I have so many things to do, and I'm looking forward to making a difference in not only my life, but in others' life every day. And I make sure to try to take care of everything around me, because if I'm not taking care of everything around me, can I really take on anything else? And then again, knowing that it's okay to lose certain people in your life, and letting people go that don't serve a purpose or that hold you back from being who you are. You got to let those people go sooner than later, because they do get replaced with people that are so much better. Those are the top 3 things I learned this last year.
Thanks a lot, Amy. Andrew?
So, top 3 things. I mean, it's going to be spontaneous. So you'll get 3 ones. And if you ask me in 10 minutes or an hour, I'll probably say 3 different things, right? One thing is the importance of having a clear vision of where you want to go. The other is having, I think Amy mentioned something about the right network, the positive people around you that are pushing you towards your goal, not toxic, taking you away. And then the last thing is patience and a little bit of faith, right? Because you have to have a little bit of blind faith as an entrepreneur to believe that your crazy idea is not so crazy. And truly crazy ideas have no proof of evidence, right? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You have your gut instinct and maybe a little bit of results in the past and conviction. So I think surrounding yourself by amazing people, having a clear vision of where you want to go, and then patience and a little bit of blind faith will get you closer to where you think you want to go. And if you're lucky, it will take you even further.
Good. That's a good saying. Thanks a lot, Andrew. Amy, thanks a lot as well. I really hope, I really appreciate all the job you're doing, Andrew. You did that for a very long time. If I remember that correctly, the organization is about like 12 years or something right now, or how many years?
10. We're turning 10 this year.
10 years, 10 years. Okay, I really appreciate all the work, and I hope you can also go big as big you want. And Amy, really also like appreciate all the stories you shared. You have a very good energy, and I'm excited to see your bark by January next year.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.